Welcome back, everybody. It's time for round 3 of the Fatal 12. When last we left our hero, i.e. myself, things had actually gotten rather fatal. We learned the rules to our little game, or at least we got an intro to them. They're kind of complicated, so we're going to have to figure them out as we go. But it is pretty much as we imagined. There is an election it may not even be every week, it might even be every night. And someone's going to kind of get voted off when too much information gets found out about them, when they get out-investigated, as it were. There are some rules as towards the knowledge that we basically are aware of everyone else. We don't get to find out how many cards each person has. We do get to find out what they learn about other people, sometimes, if they win an election. We also go in order, and we're character number 1. I haven't quite figured out if that's very good for us or very bad for us. I know we can't see, what's her face? Miharu, I believe is her name. The one in the upper left there. We can't see how many cards Miharu has. Also, I haven't quite figured out how Noelle fits into Naomi fits into this. Because I still really think she should be there, but we didn't comment her being on the clock. That's another thing that's kind of weird. We found out that we don't even get to see who everyone is. Instead of having a big introduction screen where we meet everyone in the room, a la Danganronpa, we only know 4 people of the 12, even though we could see all 12 clearly during our first little election time. So we're having a fun time here, but we're finally getting into the full game. We've had our rules explained to us. We've had an election. Someone's been voted out. And we are officially underway. So now what are we going to do? Amazing question. Let's find out. That's nice and orange, because that's... I guess we're just going to start on orange text every single time I start, because it's text we've already seen. I guess that's how that works. Most accurate way to describe how I felt when I woke up this morning would probably be melancholic, as I said last stream. Granted, I'm not sure I even slept in the first place, but what I am sure of is that certain things I've forgotten have come back to me. Do we remember dying in a train wreck now? Yeah, here we go. Again, explanation of Naomi. If Naomi was on the clock, why didn't we comment on that? We commented on poor old English tourist girl. We don't even know the names of the people involved. Right now we're just male and female, 1 through 12. Naomi and I were on our way back to Lionhouse from school. Lionhouse being the cafe we run. We were trapped in a fire on the train at that time. That'd explain why fire is listed as my cause of death. It's not, though. It's listed as someone else's because it's a different number. And I was kind of giggling about that between recording sessions. I was just thinking to myself, what if everybody's cause of death is just fire? What if we actually did die on the train and everyone's cause of death card is literally the same? Because they commented on how we all died at the same time. Astonishing coincidence, but not if we all died in the same accident, right? That would be really weird. I hope that's not a huge plot point or revelation 2/3 of the game in, because that seems kind of obvious and almost comical if that's the case. But I know, we only know 2 causes of death so far, our own and person 9 or something. Actually, I should probably bring that up just to take a look at it, because I don't think we looked at this since last time. So here are our cards. We know number 4, their cause of death was fire. So, yeah. But that's 4. We also know number 3 is Federico Carminati. So if we ever meet person number 3, we don't know them from the clock, but we know their name. But cause of death, that was the cause of death for number 4, not us. And number 9 has a regret. I guess not getting a gold medal. We have no idea what Miharu's cards are. This is our dead girl. We have no idea what her cards are. We also don't know what his cards are, but apparently his name is Bill. And I think he learned another card that he got from when he voted out his friend, because those were the only 2 that participated in the election. We didn't even get to see it. But the only cards we know are our own. And those are the only cards we know right now. So that's fun. Fire is listed as my cause of death. No, it's not. And it was no dream, it was reality. The fact that I couldn't stop shaking after remembering it led credence to its veracity. Boy, that's some interesting word choice. Even if my mind hadn't forgotten, my body certainly hadn't. The fire broke out so fast that I barely had time to react, although I remember a feeling of relief at knowing that Naomi was safe. Did she? Even if she did survive, you'd think she'd have commented on the fact that we survived, unless that's something that just kind of gets overwritten by Parka deciding that we live. That's something else that's going to be interesting. When you die, the actions that you've taken are essentially erased from the moment that you died to the moment that you got voted out. So maybe our life was kind of saved, but our death will be reasserted if we end up losing, in which case it kind of makes sense that Naomi has no idea what's going on, if she's not involved. It also means it'll be interesting to see what happens to that foreign girl that was voted out. Does this mean she never came in? Is Naomi not going to remember meeting her? Are we going to talk about knowing English and Naomi's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? We'll see about that. As for how the fire happened, I'm not entirely sure. There was a bomb, baby. Everyone who watched part 1 probably still has their ears ringing. My body starts to quiver and I get headaches whenever I try to think back. However, I do recall a very specific bag and the keychain attached to it for some reason. Yeah, is that girl going to come back? Is she somewhere on the clock? It turns out that I did indeed meet Parka after my death, too. Did you? Like she said last night, I had already heard her explanation once before. What? There's no doubt it happened in that odd dream world, too. We met an effeminate fellow, but not her. I guess I've got no choice for the time being but to believe last night's dream and piece my memories together. I can't wrap my head around this at all. Much as I'd like to be able to, this is the best I can manage right now. Even if I accept that it wasn't just a dream, there's still way too much I don't understand. Again, you and me both, girl. I couldn't find a single noteworthy incident when I checked the internet for any info about railway incidents that date either. Yeah, was it just undone? And that's why the people are still alive and it'll get reasserted if we all, as we lose? Parka did say that the cause of our deaths had been oh, okay. She said it explicitly and I must have missed it. In other words, the fire that killed me never happened once I became a participant in divine selection. I'm gonna say everyone just died on the train. That makes it pretty weird, though, because you're supposed to try to suss out everyone's cause of death in order to vote them out. If we all have the same cause of death, that's going to make this kind of easy. That's the only explanation. That odd book perched up on my shelf. That odd book's perched up on my shelf like always. Okay, that is a sentence. I wonder if this one and the one that appeared in the Court of Fate are the same book. If so, that'd mean it makes its way between here and the dream world on its own. Check it. Do we have a new card? Whatever. There's no point in overthinking things for now. Still 4 cards in the book, too. Okay, answer my question. Wait, 4? That can't be right. Aha! Parka mentioned that we'd automatically obtain cards when we learned some accurate information. Something about giving thoughts a tangible form. The card detailing my cause of death isn't here for some reason. Oh, yeah, that's an interesting question. They were talking about having cards for your own personal cards. And we commented on the fact that we only had 1. That actually makes sense. We know our own cause of death. Why isn't that card here? We don't know a regret, though. That may be less clear, but cause of death should certainly be in here. That's not all. Miharu turned out to be a participant as well, so she should have her own set of cards. I figured I would at least have the card with her full name since I know it, but I don't. Another good point. I think I might have mentioned that the last recording too. I wonder if there are some other conditions you need to meet. Of course they wouldn't tell us all the rules. That isn't the main issue regarding her, though. I've been trying to keep myself from thinking about it, but it's about time I face reality. She's dead. Only one of us can make it through divine selection. That too. That means either me or Miharu will need to be eliminated. Why is there a hair in my mouth? That being said, I'd like to talk to her first. I need to change this sprite and get this hair out of my mouth. There's the tiniest chance that this might just have been my imagination going wild. Eventually abandon my train of thought and get ready to go to school. I make toast for breakfast, but end up shoving it in the fridge because I can't summon the will to eat anything. Oh, it's you again. I'm curious how many of these characters... I mean, we should know who's dead and who's not, at least of our friends, because we would have seen them on the clock. I guess we'll call it the Court of Fate now, not the clock. Morning, Rennie! Mel's already in the classroom by the time I arrive. Amica's Girls University High School, otherwise known as Amica High. An apparently traditional school with facilities from kindergarten right up to college. It's co-ed through middle school, but at the high school level all the boys have to go elsewhere. People seem to have this image of it being one of those stereotypical all-girl Christian establishments, but it's not much different from the typical top-tier school. Is that part of the translation? Do they have all-girl Christian schools in Japan? I don't know about that. Yesterday was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, fun. That's the word. I can't motivate myself to give a cheerful reply. Back in no shits given mode. What I saw last night refuses to leave my mind. Accepting the fact that I should be dead is proving to be a bit tricky. Hey now, where's your enthusiasm? Still tired from yesterday? I wouldn't be surprised considering how much we walked about. Yeah, I ended up falling asleep as soon as I got back. Probably why I woke up super early this morning too. That explains why you're here on time on a Monday. Whoa there, let's not imply that I'm always late on Mondays, even though it's true. Talking to Mao helps to cheer me up a bit. If it turns out that last night wasn't just my imagination, then I really don't know what to do about it. I'm probably better off just living life like usual. You gotta learn about the other contestants. You gotta vote them off. Come on. You're gonna get killed. Until I get the chance to speak to Miharu, at least. Ironically enough, Miharu hasn't arrived by the time classes begin. She's probably off playing the game. She doesn't want to die. Why are you at school? Come on. In fact, she doesn't come to school at all. Smart girl. I sent her a message, but it's listed as being unread. Thus, following what's happened last night causes me to panic. Fortunately, Mao has some calming news for me. Seems like Miharu skipped out today because she was feeling sick. She said she's in good enough shape to go to work, though. Huh? She replied to you? Yep, in a flash, too. Butts. She never even read my message. Oh, that's weird. Maybe she missed it? I make an expression that screams, "You're so full of it," in response. She tries to avoid eye contact, but eventually gives in when I refuse to stop staring at her. Did something happen between you two yesterday? Huh? Yesterday? I can't help but repeat part of her question back at her. Don't tell me that Miharu's told her everything. You two were alone during the parade, right? A wave of relief washes over me when I hear that. She's only talking about the amusement park. In that case, I can't think of anything in particular. Mao seems legitimately concerned, though. I can tell that Miharu's got something on her mind. I'm having trouble saying these nicknames. You can tell when I'm opening my sparkling water up. I can tell that Miharu's got something on her mind. But what? Who knows? She wastes no time in reverting to feigned ignorance. Come on, don't keep me out of the loop. Here I was ready for something heavy, considering how rare it is to see Mao looking so serious. I could tell you, but here's the thing. You're the only one that can solve her problem. Sorry? That's a weird wording. Why's that? So, see you later. Hey, wait a minute. Mao ignores me and trots right out of the classroom. She's not in any clubs, so it's common for her to head straight home after school. In fact, she rarely stops by Lion House either. And I always get brushed off whenever I ask what she's been up to. Miharu. What's on her mind exactly? What do you think? Thinking back to yesterday, she did look like she wanted to say something when we were alone. That could be part of it too, but I'm not sure. Yeah, considering the dream that followed, the two might be related. Maybe. Which reminds me, Mao mentioned that Miharu would be going to work. I get what she's saying now. She really does care for her friends. There's just one issue, though. I find it hard to keep my concerns about where she works at bay. Oh, where does she work? I know the name of the place and where it is, but it's kind of hard to stroll in there. Uh-oh. It's super businessy or super religious-y or super smutty. What do you think? Okay, let's go with option C. I mean, it's a restaurant by definition, but it's a bit different from your standard fare. It'd be fine if Mao tagged along, but chances are she won't want to. After giving some thought, I grab my phone and fire off a message. Considering the Steins Gate vibe this game keeps giving me, I'm just imagining her working at Ferris's Cafe. She's just dressed up in her cat costume. Well, it's just where we work, just a brighter paint job. Do you come to places like this often? Nope, this is my first time. I was hoping to chat with Miharu since she works here, but... Miharu's workplace is a maid cafe. I knew it. Located in Akihabara. It's a small, privately run establishment by Ferris, so the staff just has to wear maid outfits, meaning none of the usual business you see from bigger outlets, but it still takes some courage to stroll in. There's no way I could have done it on my own, which is why I brought Naomi along as my sacrifice of sorts. Unsurprisingly, all the customers are guys. Daru? Which helps us to feel especially out of place. Well, well, well. I'd appreciate it if you learned to act a little more ladylike, Rinka. I'm not sure if I should change your voice, because now she's putting on an act as a maid, but whatever. Miharu sounds beyond exhausted as she drops off my coffee. Sorry, but I needed to talk to you, no matter what. You didn't read the message I sent, so I decided I'd best come by when Mao said you'd be at work. So it was her, huh? She messaged me this morning when I wasn't feeling too well, so I replied saying I should be able to make it to work. You messaged me this afternoon, did you? Yep, during lunch break. I forgot to charge my phone last night, so I had to turn it off when I let it charge today. Now I'm upset that I missed an ever so elusive message from you. Well, she sounds reasonable enough. Oh, sorry, here you go. With that, she places Naomi's warm and fluffy cocoa in front of her. Slam it on the table, did you? But she missed the coaster a little bit, which leads her to her inadvertently slamming it down on the table. Naturally, this surprises some of the other customers, causing many of their gazes to turn our way. Oh, yay! Naomi's the center of attention. I'm sure she loves that. Oh, dear me. I'm awfully sorry. Miharu turns to Naomi and delivers a polite bow. Naomi looks terrified, despite being on the receiving end of an apology. Unlike Lionhouse, this isn't a place where you can sit down and relax, unfortunately. I wish you would have figured that as much based on the fact that it's a maid cafe. If you need to talk, then I'll pop by Lion's house after my shift. Well, assuming you're fine with that, of course. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry for bugging you. Wow, that's a close-up. Yeah, she's not usually filling the screen like this. But I gotta say, that maid outfit really suits you. Makes your natural good looks stand out even more. Aw, you're nice. It suits me? Wow, I never thought I'd live to see the day you'd say that to me. Now you've gone and got me all embarrassed. Her face is bright red as she says that, a very uncommon occurrence. You'd imagine she's used to customers complimenting her, but I guess it's different when it's a classmate. I only chose this job because I could earn good money in exchange for acting nice to people, but after hearing that, I'd say it's been worth it. Aw. I'm not sure if you should say that out loud. Oh, that was Naomi. Right when Naomi says that, the other customers burst out in laughter. As you can see, that's just how I do things. Everyone else is fine with it. That's pretty cool. As much as I can appreciate how these places have unique work environments, I still don't like being in one. Anyways, sit back and relax. She gives us her perfectly rehearsed work smile before moving on. I'm not too sure if by coming along was a good idea. Don't worry, I feel the same way. Figured there'd be some other girls here scouting out the cute outfits, but I figured wrong. And this hair's back in my mouth. Blah, blah, blah. That isn't quite what I meant. Ignoring Naomi's stuttering, I make an effort to start on my coffee. We finish up our drinks in a hurry and leave just as quickly. You're not going to comment on her coffee making skills? I'm disappointed. We get off on the same train back as well, but I have to split up at Shinjuku Station, my stop. Once it hits 9 p.m., I start preparations to close up shop. As soon as I get back to the shop, I start closing up shop. I opened up pretty late today, for all of 5 minutes, so there weren't many customers. We used to get lots of people coming along for lunch when my gran ran the store, but I can't make much. It's no surprise they'd stop coming. Even so, the fact that some people still come by because they enjoy being able to relax and chat here makes me happy. It's worth mentioning that my gran handles all business and financial decisions for Lionhouse, even while in the countryside. I put in the orders and such myself, but that's all based on her instructions after seeing each daily report. This is made possible thanks to the laptop she took with her. She's actually more tech literate than I am, despite her age. Around the time I finish cleaning up the store, someone makes their way through the door. Hearing the little bell jingle, I look over to see who it is. Who is it going to be? I wonder if it's going to be the dude. Bill. You know, somebody coming in to investigate us. Be like, hey, Rinka, how'd you die? Got a card for me? Nope, never. Oh, yeah, of course, because she said she'd drop by. I'm an idiot. Hey, you. It's Miharu, who changed back into her school uniform. Just remembering her in that maid outfit nearly causes an involuntary grin. I don't mean that in a bad way. It looked a lot better on her than I imagined. Although I bet most things do, considering she's tall and stylish. In the end, it's her work outfit, so it'd be kind of rude for me to laugh. Hey, did work drag on? Yeah, sorry about that. The girl who was going to follow my shift canceled out of nowhere, so I had to stay behind. Well, can't say I'm too impressed by whoever that was. It's still work, even if they're doing it part-time. It's one of those jobs where you get paid a lot for relatively easy work, so I'm not surprised. You won't find many of us working there actually trying to make a living off it. Most of them are just to make some money on the side. It carries extra weight when you of all people talk about someone's work ethic, though. The same applies to you. The majority of Maharu's work or wage goes straight into living expenses, thanks to her situation at home. She doesn't pay for her tuition either, thanks to a scholarship. I don't know the full story, but her parents got divorced, so it's just her and her mom at home, I think. What's worse, her mom isn't in the best condition, so she struggles to keep a consistent income. I might not be working for the money itself, but I can't really compare myself with Maharu when I've got my gran supporting me. Speaking of which, she mentioned once that most of the money she makes comes from real estate. She always brushes me off when I try to dig deeper into it. Anyway, you wanted to speak with me, right? Is it alright if I get my hopes up? Is it alright if I get my hopes up? What, you want to vote her off? You know exactly what it's about. This'll take a while, so grab a seat. I take my apron off and move to sit down with her. It won't take long at all, actually. I'm sorry, what? That... There's no way that's not ominous. I was trying to think to myself, this could be good or bad. It's like, no, it's bad in... Although the possibility is going through my head as to why she would say that are bad. She stops me before I can take my seat and then continues. I saw what unfolded in that dream world myself. There's no denying that both of us should be dead right now. It seems like you don't quite remember the details of how it happened, though. It came back to me afterwards. My memory's still jumbled up, but now I know that last night wasn't the first time I met that girl, or goddess, or parka, whatever you want to call her. I mean, geez, she wasn't even wearing a parka. What's up with that? That makes things simple, then. We both need to make it through to the end. She says this with a radiant smile. Is that going to happen, though? How can you smile at a time like this, when my hair's in my mouth again? This is the worst chapter ever. When I see her smile, I can't stop my gut feelings from taking over. I lose my self-control the moment she confirms the divine selection is real. Everything I've been holding back since waking up from that dream comes pouring out. It's simple. You wouldn't have had any doubts about wanting to survive if I wasn't a participant, correct? But the fact that I am means you can't summon those survival instincts now. The idea of doing so in exchange for my life pains you far too much. That's just the type of person you are. You don't need to worry about that, though. I'm fully prepared to give my life for you. Excuse me? What did you just say? I was going on a rant about a hair in my mouth. I don't give a shit about your life. I'm just kidding. Like I said, it's simple. If given the choice between either of our lives, I choose yours in a heartbeat. What the hell? Don't say things like... Don't say that like it doesn't mean anything. Don't even joke about something like that. Sorry. I shouldn't have shouted. Just this hair in my mouth. Jesus. I break eye contact with her, giving myself a moment to regroup. Maharu replies by shaking her head while deciding our next words. I'm going to say this with the utmost conviction. Besides, I think it's safe to say that every other participant is adamant on surviving too. Getting caught up in kindness spells certain death for you. How can you be so calm about all this? As much as I don't want to think about it, she has a cause of death of her own as well. That moment's undoubtedly etched into her mind. My own death shocked me so much that my brain tried to block it out. And yet, here she's acting like it's no big deal. I don't understand how she does it. Kinda depends on how she died, too. If her card says fire, I mean, come on. Because I'm doing this for your sake. I'm glad we got to talk about this. You really don't have it in you to take the initiative, huh? I'm best off not giving you information about me, then. The last thing I want is more people going after you. Let's act normal at school, too. You'll make it through this, so you can't let anything disrupt your day-to-day life. Well, first of all, I think you should be disrupting your day-to-day life. You should be getting some info. You should be doing some research. Why are you going through normal life? Like, what is everyone else doing right now? You should be terrified of that. I need you to work with me as much as possible, though. Your death would spell my own inevitable elimination. How so? She finishes her spiel before facing away from me. I'll do whatever it takes to protect you. I mean, okay, is there kind of an attraction thing going on here? Because otherwise it's just like, well, you're the main protagonist. Guess I'll just die for you then. What's going on here? But, I guess we'll just let this roll. I can't open my mouth, not even after she's left my line of sight. I've forgotten to ask her about her own personal cards, as well as the reason behind me not obtaining any cards related to her. That's still a question. I wonder if we're going to go to the Court of Fate every night, because if we are, we're about due. And we can get a full visit in before the end of this recording, hopefully. I make no progress for several days as I wait for the second round of Divine Selection to come around. Well, never mind. It's once a week. Are we just blasting to the end of the second week? I mean, I got an achievement for finishing the first week at the end of the last recording, and that was technically only 3 days. We're just going to blast through another week in one recording? How long is this game? I start to teach Naomi how to brew coffee bit by bit while I continue to engage in the usual banter with Maharu and Mao. So I guess Naomi isn't part of this. I guess she survived the train wreck. But then the train wreck just didn't happen, so she didn't know about it. None of this helps to ease the tension in my heart, though. I can feel myself being pressured more and more by the reality that I've become a participant in Divine Selection again. Wednesday. Is that how long this? Who the hell are you? What? There are people in this world who don't deserve to live, and I've never had any issue counting myself among them. Are we doing a protag swap? What's going on here? I've spent my life stealing and killing as part of the mafia in southern Italy. I got to where I am today through countless betrayals. Are we going to play this from different perspectives? Oh, that would be cool too. I was never in the big leagues, but I managed to find success after success as a mafioso. Until, you know, I messed up what I shouldn't have and, well, died. The lookout caught him visiting the sheriff. Well, that's how it rolls sometimes. Success wasn't imperative in the world I lived in. The key was to avoid failing, because a single failure meant you'd be 6 feet under. Ooh, should I give this guy a kind of a mafia voice? Yeah, success wasn't imperative in the world I lived in. The key was to avoid failing, because a single failure meant you'd be 6 feet under, see? And that's exactly what happened to me, see? It's funny, though. Turns out, Lady Luck's impartial when it comes to who she gives her blessings, see? Getting tossed in Divine Selection means I have the opportunity to live on, despite my mistake. I've been given a new lease on life. I might not deserve to live, but that's irrelevant in the face of my desire to do so. So long as that desire's there, nothing else matters. That's the hello number 3. That's the Federico Carminati way of life. That's an Italian name, all right. I failed only once in my life, and I'm determined to keep it that way. I guess Lady Luck isn't the only one paying me a visit, though. A much less unfortunate sister has made sure to stop by, too. This is veering a little bit from mafioso and closer to, it's reminding me of a character, but I can't remember who off the top of my head. Hey. Okay. Hey, Space Cadet, do you copy? This charming individual is Odette Malencon. Malencon. Yeah, let's go with that. Malencon. Why have I heard that name before? Malencon. Much like me, she's a participant in Divine Selection. We're starting to pair up, are we? Forming our alliances? Under normal circumstances, we should be aiming to eliminate each other, but we've agreed to help one another out. For the time being. Well, I guess it'd be more accurate to say that she's forced me into a truce. Nothing much. I'm thinking about something. Yeah, this is nowhere near Italian, is it? I'll give the ridiculous Mamma Mia Mario voice I gave that one fella in Ace Attorney Chronicles. Nah, we won't do that. What's with the Kazuichi teeth? How about you focus on the grub instead? I ain't about to let good Chinese cooking go to waste, Capricorno. We use Capricorno as my code name when we're speaking. It's based on my zodiac sign. Because we can't share names. In turn, Verge is how I refer to her. My only issue is that pronouncing French words is kind of tricky for an Italian like myself. Anyway, I'm the one that suggested using code names. I did that mainly because our names are valuable info when it comes to eliminating others in Divine Selection. Neither of us is supposed to know each other's real name. I'm going to lean closer to the mic because I feel like I'm kind of quiet. Knowing her, she's probably used some connections to pull my name out of the lake, but she won't tell me that straight up. Obviously, I know her real name as well, but I haven't told her. Keeping that stuff to ourselves is the reason our current relationship works in the first place. Gotta admit, I couldn't be any happier that we're in Beijing. You ain't gonna find better Chinese grub anywhere. Are these guys literally all over the world then? I guess they didn't die in a train wreck. Parker was talking about how it's just an amazing coincidence, and that's why this game is getting played a little bit special than other games might have played in the past, so maybe it is just a huge coincidence. They served this stuff to the old emperors of the Qing dynasty, so even the sauces are perfect. What's more, it's loaded with calories to combat the cold climate here. For a gal who lives on the sea, the perfect blend of taste and calories is just what I need. I need a meaner voice for her, but I'm going to have to figure it out. In fact, I'd argue that this Peking duck right here is probably the greatest thing to ever come out of China. Fat's never tasted this good. The way it's made is just as horrible as what they do to geese while making foie gras, but it doesn't change the fact that it's delicious. Least the ducks can do is hope they ain't as tasty in their next life. I mean, it's their own fault for being delicious, right? She shoves more and more food into her mouth the second she quits yapping. Oh yeah, now, this is her third plate of Peking duck, by the way. She's had plenty of gyoza and steamed buns in between, too. Hard to believe someone from France would order food like this, considering how particular they are about their full-course meals. Just watching it pig out makes my stomach ache. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is while this French food's still the best, I ain't got no issue letting Chinese food play second fiddle. Now, wait just a second. I don't mind what's second and beyond, but I'm not going to let you imply that Italian food is anything but the best. Fine. Let's go find us a well-built Chinese person. Whoever wins in a fight between us three can say their country has the best food. Sounds like a plan. Alright, fine. You win. Well, you don't, but let's change topics before things escalate. She really would hunt for someone, too. Only problem is that it doesn't matter what kind of tank she recruits. She'd still beat both of us senseless. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting he has a voice. Ain't many people who... maybe I can just stick with my normal voice for narrating. Ain't many people who can take her in a fist fight, men included. She's the head of a group teeming with tough seamen for a reason. She like a pirate or something? How about it, Frederico? Time for booze? This Shaoxinju's pretty good. Tastes like dissolved candy. Give me a break. Oh, well, just like that, she's baited me into saying her real name. I don't know what you were thinking about earlier, but how about we quit wasting each other's time with this whole charade? Well, what's that supposed to mean? I already know the answer, but I ask anyway. She chugs more Shaoxin... I'm going to have to look up how you pronounce that word for later. Before showing me a big, toothy Kazuichi soda smile. I wonder. It's pretty obvious that everyone's first move of this divine selection game or whatever is going to be to get a death grip on the other participants' names. You wanted code names, but hey, it ain't going to stop anyone from finding out our real names. Cause of death, too. We all died at the same time, so all it'll take is a little bit of digging to find out how everyone kicked the bucket. Especially when it involves people like us. I mean, not necessarily. Our other main character, Rinka, tried to do that. It's kind of hard to figure out how everyone died when their deaths got undone. You catch my drift, right? Yeah. No need to treat me like an idiot. I'm aware that others' information's welfare is the name of the game here. Gotta find out one's others' regrets, too. The fact that you wanted to use code names in spite of that proves you're just a small fry. You should forget all about your real name. Everyone's regret card was handed out to other participants at random, right? That means one of them knows yours and one knows mine. Oh, that was the wrong voice. Well, yeah, but there ain't no way someone's going to luck out and get all 3 pieces of info on either of us when they're handed out at random. Yeah, maybe. Someone's got 3 cards on someone. I'm willing to bet that right now. No one's elected either of us during the first round, which serves as proof. Yeah, but maybe we just didn't understand the game. Yet. Doesn't seem like that Indian guy had our cards either. If he did, then he would have gone straight for us, since he knows it's best to take out the toughest competition first. Well, what would you have done if someone just so happened to get all your cards when they were first distributed? Nothing much. I just die knowing I lost my bet and curse my fate. But it. I really can't stand this woman sometimes. She makes you think she's got it all planned out, but she leaves the most crucial bits up to luck. Her cautious and rational actions end up getting thrown out the window when she goes wild for no discernible reason. I honestly don't know what goes on in her head. This is the first time I've come across a woman who just doesn't do whatever a man tells them to. The worst part of it all, though. Well, either way, we're working together till it's just us two. If you ain't up for it, then let me smack you around some more. That's what she does to resolve everything. She resorts to violence. I can't call her a nasty name out loud, so I just keep the insults to myself. Moving on. Is there a reason why we're in China when we need to be in Japan for the final day of divine selection? So we don't have to be elsewhere in the world? Ain't it obvious? Much as I love Peking duck, I've never been able to eat it right here in Beijing before. You're serious? We got some homework to do out here as well. Huh? Right before our ship got attacked, I caught wind of a top brass executive for a Chinese food company collapsing during a meeting. Oh, interesting. She suspects it's one of our folks. She says her ship got attacked. She's some sort of, if not pirate, then some sort of smuggler or something. As you might have guessed, Odette's the representative for a certain shipping company. Of course, we're talking about this woman, so ain't no way it's a plain old shipping company. Doesn't matter if it involves drugs or even dead bodies. They'll take any job they're paid to do. In that regard, you could call them smugglers. Alright, I was right. Called that. Their existence is kept in the dark, though, likely because certain governments aren't shy about making use of them. Well, it's not quite accurate to say they'll take up any job, considering Odette makes it a point to turn down anything she considers boring. Certain circumstances led to my hitching a ride on her boat, which is how we ended up cooperating in the first place. I went to look at more info on it after we'd been brought back, but turns out there wasn't any record of the incident at all. Oh, interesting. So that would be a clue. If you were aware of something happening and then you know it got undone, then you would be like, oh ho, that is a participant. I can't even take the bite of food in front of my mouth when she says that. She, on the other hand, grabs the bottle of that word I can't say and downs what's left in it. I gotta keep tabs on this sort of info thanks to my line of work, so I ain't gonna forget about something like that easily. His name's Rochambeau? Is that how he died? Rochambeau? His name is Ho. I dug deeper after that, and here's the kicker. He seems to be alive and well. What? Oh, she got a card. The moment she mentions his name, the book beside her emits a strange light. Okay, so it's a big, thick, auburn-colored book that we all know because we all have them. They have a hole with cards. My book better have, well, Frederico's book better have lit up. Now we're talking. The dull light focuses into a single point once she opens her book. It gradually fades, and in its place is a rectangular piece of paper. Odette catches it when it's hovering in midair. Oh, so you can see it now? You can only see, light blinding you when you're in the court area? Bingo. Looks like our friend Ho is numeral 7? Okay, the British tourist must have been 6. I thought she was 7. Huh. We don't have a 7 card. Okay, well, we're figuring it out. Oh, damn, that was easy. That girl who was going on about being a goddess mentioned that the cause of all her deaths had been undone. The fact that Odette was able to notice such a paradox proves that the girl wasn't lying. Now we gotta play the guessing game. He was a fatso, so he might have had diabetes, which means he could have died from low blood sugar. And again, I can't see a bigwig like him not taking the proper precautions, so if something killed him unexpectedly, then it's more than likely to have been a stroke or a heart attack. No love from the cards. Yeah, you can't get cards from just guessing. You can't sit in your room and just name off everything you can think of and be like, a card appeared in my book, I got it right. That can't be how that works. No love from the cards, huh? She calls it a guessing game, but she clearly isn't taking stabs in the dark. Does the fact that a card didn't appear mean she's not on the right track? Maybe there's some kind of condition that causes the card to appear. How come Rose's name card never appeared before now, even though I'd learned about him earlier? Oh, okay. Good question. Well, hell if I know. Guess you gotta think a little harder if you're that unsure. How about you help me out here? Wait a minute. I thought up a few other possibilities just now, but I wasn't sure whether they were right or not. You sure love talking to yourself. My attempt to tease her falls on deaf ears. The grin that spreads across her face soon after bursts with confidence. Between a stroke and a heart attack, I'd bet that he suffered the former. Wouldn't be surprising if his diabetes caused him to have one out of the blue during his meeting. How's that sound? She directs her question toward the book as if it'd nod back. Oh, amazingly enough, it does respond. It reacts the same way as when she obtained Rose's name card. Hey, it's like I keep talking about on the chill streams. You gotta believe. You gotta believe that it'll happen. Numeral 7's cause of death was a stroke. Things went well this time, but it seems one of the rules is that you gotta believe in your answer to make a card appear. Can't expect results from blind guessing, even though it all seems kinda ambiguous. Still doesn't explain why we don't have Miharu's card. You gotta believe in it, huh? Where's my cards, damn it? I'm listening to this. I'm seeing it happen. I know it's true. Where's my book? I should mention that Odette went through that entire process while she continued to chow down on her food. I'd planned on going easy on the booze so I could stay rational, but I ended up downing my drink as well. I figured that being stuck with her is a bad thing, but on the other hand, it might be perfect for me. This woman is going to be useful. It's not often that you find someone who's got the brains to match the brawn, so I should be able to get rid of anyone in my way with her around. Why would she cooperate with me, though? Maybe she figures I have all the info I need on her, so she's doing this to make sure I don't hand anything off to the other participants. We were on the same boat when it sank, so naturally you'd think we both died the same way. And since I've got her name and cause of death, she wants to keep me in check. What she doesn't know is that I don't actually know her cause of death. She shouldn't know mine either. We might have died when the ship was attacked, but the actual causes weren't by drowning or from fire. Ooh. We also don't know her number either. In reality, the only info we have on each other is our names. Odette's just making it seem like she knows more so she can have leverage over me. Basically, this whole cooperation thing is a front so that she can get her hands on my info for when we're the last two remaining. Heh, now that's the kind of chowing down I like to see. Bring us the best wine you've got. Yeah, count me in. The most important challenge of my life is about to begin. I ain't about to fail, and I'm certainly not going to let her drink me under the table. We end up drinking till all the wine in the restaurant is gone. Damn. Amazingly enough, she pops open another bottle back at the hotel as a substitute for water. That should not work. I'm not about to join her, so I go back to my room and sleep. I hope you drank actual water. The next morning, I noticed that I have Rose's card in my own book, too. There we go. Alright, that was an interesting aside. Do we jump to another character, or are we back to Rinka? This is a room. Oh no, we're staying on the same guy. Later that day, Odette gets me to start tailing him. Needless to say, this is for the sake of getting information regarding his regret. Divine Selection takes place at 12 p.m. on Sunday, so we'll be in a good spot if we manage to get all 3 pieces of info on him before then. See, this is what I was saying Rinka should have been doing. Don't go to school. Start figuring stuff out. As for while I'm tailing him on my own, well, Odette's down with a hangover. Of course she is. Not in the way you'd imagine, though. She ain't suffering in bed. She's pissed off and screaming at everyone and everything. Can't believe she's making me second-guess her usefulness just one day later. Hey, there's a sprite. Odette, this ain't good. Not long after I start tailing him, I have to rush back to the hotel to get Odette. Uh-oh. Rose's company was located in one of those fancy high-class buildings in the middle of Beijing City. I lost sight of him thanks to it being so crowded, but I managed to learn his plans. A few minutes after entering the building, he made his way back out. Acting as someone there on official business, I asked the front desk about his schedule, to which they replied he was leaving on a business trip. Oh, is he going to Japan? They were hesitant about revealing the destination at first, but I managed to get them to reveal that he'd be staying in Taiwan for 3 days while visiting their local branch. Turns out we can hop on the same flight as him when we haul ass over to the airport. He's on his way to Taiwan, so get moving. We're going after him. I knock on her door, fully expecting her to flip out at me. Imagine my surprise when she struts out of the room all ready to go, luggage and all. As an aside, our phones and credit cards were perfectly intact, despite our washing up ashore, so we didn't have any issue buying whatever gear we needed. I just told the front desk that we'd be checking out. You what? Sorry to burst your bubble, but I was fully aware of his plans when we hashed things out last night. Why'd you get me to tail him then? Ain't much of a co-op if I'm doing all the ops, know what I mean? I'd plan on calling the whole thing off if you couldn't get your hands on such basic info. She drops that bombshell on me like it's a casual greeting. See, she is useful. The fact that she doesn't mention what she'd do with me if I failed her little test proves how twisted she is. Why do I gotta be tested in the first place? You're a bit too sly for your own good. What was that? Nothing? We leave the hotel after I rush to get my stuff together. Having made it on time to catch the same flight as Ro, we make our way to our hotel in Taiwan after landing. A hotel that apparently is the exact same room, just flipped vertically. Or horizontally, I mean. No, if it were flipped vertically, that'd be some... I would not pay full price for that room. It's the same hotel he's staying in. Also the same hotel we were apparently staying in a completely different country. So we chose a room far enough away from him, and then discussed our next move over wine and cheese. I gotta hand it to you. I didn't think you'd try to find him on the flight itself. Well, I couldn't find him on the flight's lobby since he had the nerve to fly business class. Then again, it's probably best that he did, since that stomach of his would just piss off everyone in economy. Is he fat? He's fat, isn't he? I think that she said he was fat. Glad I was able to upgrade to business class myself, though. Managed to tail him from the arrival lounge to his hotel because of that. Meanwhile, I was stranded in economy. You do realize the other participants know your face, right? What would you have done if he noticed and started to panic? He didn't seem bothered. Probably didn't expect other participants to make their way out of China to find him. In fact, the way he's working and go about his daily life may mean that he doesn't actually believe that divine selection's happening. I guess if you were smart and talented enough, you could change your appearance after every round of selection, like dye your hair or cut it or shave or whatever. Do something else to make yourself appear differently. That'd be kind of clever. True, most adults wouldn't believe that crap. Only reason I did is because we both washed ashore together. She grins nihilistically before continuing. Surely you have some questions about how you're still alive if you're aware that you died, though. Seems like enough to believe that this whole situation's for real. Pretty sure you're the only one with enough screws loose to reach that conclusion. More importantly, something's fishy about how long he stayed here, wouldn't you say? I grab some squares of cheese as I pose that question to her. Once I confirm that she's reacted to it, I continue. People at his work said he'd be gone for 2 nights and 3 days, but the front desk here says he's only here for tonight. I hope you made sure he won't find anything about your snooping. Damn right I did. I started shouting at them about how he's being too nosy and that they should fix things, only for them to tell me to deal with it since he's leaving in the morning. I guess that works. Still, that's odd. From what I gathered, he's visiting the Taiwan branch tomorrow and one of their factories the day after. This hotel's pretty ideal for getting to both locations, too. Oh well, just tail him again tomorrow. I'll do my own digging in the meantime. Mind being a bit more specific? Let's forget about it for now and focus on tonight's grub. I still haven't had Taiwanese food yet, so I'm curious how it stacks up against good old Mediterranean. Well, I guess we're best off not rushing things and messing it all up. We split the rest of the wine between us and finish off the cheese. Hey, just to be clear, Mediterranean cuisine belongs to Italy and not France. If anyone's going to compare its quality to the seafood here, then it's me. I'm just saying. You can tell I'm Italian because of how good my accent is. Who are we on? Still Federico. The major thing I take away from yesterday's activities is that, surprisingly, Taiwanese food ain't half bad. Yeah, they could work on their presentation a bit, but those steamed shrimp and buns were delicious. Could see myself getting hooked on those rice noodles, too. Don't let me forget the spicy stuff, either. Adding some dubajiang and tianmianjiang really created a perfect and rich balance between sweet and sour. Yeah, I don't eat Taiwanese food either, bite me. Oops, that's enough Odette impressions for one day. Thank you. Even though my stomach regrets eating so much last night, here I am in the hotel's parking lot early in the morning waiting for Ro. Once I see him leaving a taxi, I make sure to follow. I want to see what this guy looks like. Show me his sprite. And now I've been sitting around outside his company's building for a good part of the day. Boring as hell, but I'm used to waiting by this point. The streets of Taiwan really are an interesting sight, though. You can get a good hour's worth of entertainment from people watching. Too bad I still got another 7 hours left. After what feels like an eternity, I finally spot him leaving the building. Here we go. I figure he'll make his way back by taxi, too, but it looks like he's hoofing it instead. It's entirely possible that the people at the front desk told me he'd only be staying one night just to get rid of me. But the fact that he's not going straight back by taxi proves nothing. He could be going out for a meal with someone first. That much is normal for a corporate bigwig like him. As it turns out, he ended up at an Italian restaurant in town. A ristorante, to be accurate. Oh yeah, give me that Italian. Italian restaurants are split into restaurantes, trattorias, and osterias. Restaurantes are the fanciest of the three. At least he's got good taste. The glass paneling makes the restaurant easy to keep an eye on, so I waltz into a cafe directly across the street. It's got glass paneling as well, so there's no danger of losing track of him. I ordered an espresso and dumped plenty of sugar into it. It's going to be a struggle to make this last as long as a ristorante meal, but I got to deal with it. As far as I can tell, seems like a real fancy joint. Looks like he's made a reservation, judging by how he gets taken to his seat by one of the staff right away. Soon after, someone takes a seat across from him. Oh, is it going to be someone just like we're doing? Is it going to be another participant? A young woman. She's wearing one of those glitzy red dresses that dirty old geezers drool over. I'm pretty sure he's got a family, but it doesn't take much for me to catch on to what this is all about. She ain't my type, but there's no denying she's a looker. Doesn't seem like a random hostess either. Is he just seeing someone else, or... Come on. Maybe you recognize her. Maybe it's someone who did what I just suggested and changed their appearance a little bit. You saw her in the Court of Fate after she'd had bed hair and just the way she goes to bed. And now she's, got her makeup did and she's all dolled up. And it's like, wait, that's someone... I don't know. We'll see. Hardly surprising, considering the kind of person he is, I guess. Having discovered their relationship, I spend the rest of my time watching them enjoy their meal. Delightful. Guess he's picked out a wine beforehand. Gotta hand it to him. Red wine like that will send any woman over the moon, assuming they've got good taste. It's just a shame that he's used his bread to wipe up the leftover pasta sauce. You gotta make that woman feel ashamed to be with you, buddy. Just judging him harshly about how he eats Italian food. The restaurant seems like it's more on the expensive end compared to the others around here, too. Chances are he started going to these types of places more often once he hit a certain age. He has the appropriate manners, but sticking to them and also dropping old habits can prove to be tricky. Not like anyone's going to call him out for it, considering his age and position. 3 hours pass before they finish eating and enjoying their after-dinner espresso. I get myself ready to leave while Ro pays for the whole thing by card. Fortunately, I know exactly what their plan is after this. Probably because I do the same thing. Once they leave and get into a taxi, I jump into another one and follow them. They end up making their way back to the woman's apartment, so after I confirm they've gone inside, I return to the hotel. I don't know much about Taiwanese dogs, but some breed I've never seen before come out to greet them both when they arrive at her place. That's a weird line to end on. Who cares about the dogs? Well, I guess we know why he's only using the hotel for the one night. Took your damn time. Part of the job. How things go on your end? She waves her hand in dismissal. Guess she wasn't able to learn anything interesting, so now she's pissed off. Meanwhile, I'm feeling pretty great because I've gotten my hands on some crucial info. Looks like I'm the only one who came out of this with more info then. Quit bragging and spit it out, asshole. Yep, she's pissed, all right. I heave a quick sigh before explaining what I saw. A respectable businessman was out meeting a woman. Not family, I assume. His wife and 3 kids should still be in Beijing. Right, she was a young one. No doubt she's his lover, considering they shared a little kiss before heading into her apartment. Ugh, what a scumbag. Right? The fatty acts all respectable when he's got a hot little dish on the side. Even her dog seems attached to him, so there's no doubt he visits often. Damn. But I was talking about you. What kind of person spies on a middle-aged man's affairs like that? What? That was my job. Give me a break. Look, you can't accuse me of whatever you want just because you're pissed off. Anyway, it's pretty much a given that his regret has to do with his lover. Our last 2 attempts were regarding his family and work, but neither caused the card to appear. Ah, okay. So they get a kind of a lead like this, they start brainstorming, and they see if a card appears. Okay, clever. It might have been because we weren't entirely certain, but a part of me felt that we just weren't on the right track. I'm confident about this one, though, which is why I direct my comment to the book, expecting it to turn out a card for me. Ah, come on. What is this crap? It's gotta be his lover. All that follows is a brief period of absolute silence, sans the sound of the air conditioning humming away in the background. Looks like you didn't dig deep enough. The fact that nothing happened despite your misplaced confidence proves you're wrong. I have no comeback. All I can do is begrudgingly jam a cigarette in my mouth. Mind going to the smoking area? I really can't stand the smell of those things. Guess we gotta start over. Want me to tail him again tomorrow? She flashes me her standard grin in response. I guess you can have fun doing that again. Meanwhile, I'm gonna make sure I get the right dirt on him this time around. Whatever. Can't believe he's screwing around with his lover while I'm stuck here. I find myself eyeing Odette after saying that, but nah. I wouldn't go at it with someone like her even if she asked, hey man, don't stick your dick in crazy. I head out to have a smoke after that, a little annoyed at myself for even considering that option. I mentioned Kazuichi Soda before, but to a certain extent she reminds me of Akane Owari. Same skin tone, ripped, athletic, and eats like a pig. I think her hair color is kind of close too. We leave Taiwan in the morning and check back into the same hotel as before when we get back to Beijing. I part ways with Odette, who says she has something she wants to look into, and then I start tailing Ro again. So we're tailing him again after he gets back? Getting anything worthwhile regarding his regrets as he goes about his daily business proves to be a lot more difficult than expected, so I make my way back to the hotel after I confirmed that he's returned home. Took your time. And where were you exactly? Oh, nowhere special. We're pretty much done until Sunday, so let's go and celebrate somewhere. How about the place we ate at our first day here? Starting to crave that Peking duck again. Wait, what? You found out his regret? Sure did. Ain't telling you, though. Last thing I need is the two of us selecting him at the same time and having to share our own info. That goddess did mention something to that effect now that I think about it. Like if two or more people elect the same person, they gotta reveal one piece of their own info to everyone else to gain election priority. Yeah, I'm curious how a lot of this is gonna play out, that included. Sure, you'll be able to get info from the person you eliminate, but you're putting way too much risk in exchange. Odette's removing the chances of that happening to us by not telling me. In other words, she doesn't trust me. Can't say I trust her either, though. Anyway, how long are you going to hang around there like a creep, geezer? Oh, someone's spying on us? Huh? Her sudden insult takes me aback, but she isn't actually addressing me. She's looking over to the door I entered from. I approach the door praying that the worst case scenario in my head won't take place, and then I open it. Worst case scenario. Oh! Well, we get to know what he looks like. Frederico, did you get followed? You idiot. I see my cover was blown quite fast. That voice can do for now. We'll see if I remember it. I see my cover was blown quite fast. Ro Chan Ho, the very man we've been following around, is standing right there. That means he's the one who's been tailing me all along. When did you... I admit the fact that you two are working together took me by surprise. At first, I thought you were part of the press trying to dig into my slush funds, but that didn't seem fitting for a thug like yourself. Did you just call me a thug? He continues talking, blatantly ignoring me. I assume you're the one responsible for all this, Odette Melancone? Wow, I guess even you're smart enough to realize that I'm the brains of this operation. That's irrelevant. He's right. The important bit is that he called her by name. Meaning he's in possession of her name card. He made that clear in an attempt to bait a response from her. Chances are she realizes that as well, which is why she responded the way she did. I did find it difficult to swallow the whole dream world nonsense, but one can't help but believe that when someone they saw in a dream world winds up on the same flight as them... Ah, you did get busted, Odette. That goes double for a woman who stands out as much as you do. Yeah, you're not exactly incognito there, lady. Can't imagine you walking around in a trench coat. Not only is she pretty damn tall, but she's also built like a tank. You could say she's got looks, but those don't stand out near as much. You ain't wrong about that. What are you grinning at, punk? You may want to wipe the smirk off your face. Surely you understand why I'm here, don't you? I mean, it's not like we can kill each other, right? They've said as much. We're essentially immortal until selection or whatever. Let's work something out. I have a family to support, so I can't allow myself to die right now. I take it you know either my cause of death or my regret, then. She takes a deep breath before shaking her head. It can't be both. You'd have killed me during the first round if that were the case. Pleased to see that you have your wits about you. Hold on. If you are eavesdropping, then you should know that we've got all your info. Indeed, that's why my proposal is as follows. Miss Odette, I need you to promise that you won't elect me. If you don't, then I'll tell this little thug here everything I have on you. His expression is deathly serious. Ah. I have to stop myself from cracking a smile. The room is silent as can be, but not for the reason he's hoping. At long last, Odette shatters the illusion when she bursts out in laughter. Uh-oh. Oh! She follows that up by punching him squarely in the face, which sends him flying over to the other side of the hall. This dude must weigh over 200 pounds, a true testament to her ridiculous strength. Yep, Akane. Ugh. Have you lost your mind? She saunters over to him, takes a seat, and laughs right in his face. He's holding his cheek after that punch, but it looks to me like his nose took more damage, considering it's gushing blood. That's your proposal? Give me a break. Very Akane pose. So you're fine with me revealing your information. Your little cooperation will crumble right away if I do. Just try it, fatty. Know that I'll have this thug kill your whole family if you do. Oh, will I? Are we sure about that? She punches the floor as her way of telling me to keep my mouth shut. Let's say your little plan works. Did you ever consider the idea of him making it through to the end? Your family wouldn't be coming back to life anytime soon if that happened. Hell, not just your family. We'll get your little regret to join them. Ah, so the girl, the sweetheart on the side. You're beyond insane. Ah, shut it, you disgusting piece of trash. Punches him again. No, never mind, kicks him. Gotta say, even I think she's overdoing it a bit. You're acting way too big for your boots. I want everything to go nice and smooth. Just give up and resign yourself to death. If you want to make propositions, then make sure you got some real info on me first. Enough to protect yourself if I elect you. You insolent little... A real businessman wouldn't try to make something out of nothing. They'd take something small and turn it into an empire. She grabs him by the collar while she spits out her insults. All he can do as response is close his eyes and turn his head away. Go write your will or something. Not that anyone will see it after you're gone. Well then. Once she finishes, she motions for me to go back into the room with her. There's plenty I want to call her out on, but the last thing I want to do is go against her will right now. It's like what I've said before. She's the type of person who tries to ultimately solve everything through violence. Once we're back in the room, she acts like nothing just happened. Anyway, let's go grab some grub. Right. This woman really is nuts. The Mafia might do some shady stuff now and then, but we still have some attachments to societal norms, considering we dip our hands in regular business to a certain extent. Meanwhile, people like her, who live life by the rules of the sea, lack any such attachments. That realization helps to explain why even a mafioso like myself can be surprised by someone's insanity. Ro has outright vanished by the time we leave the hotel to go get some food. I actually feel pretty bad when I think about how he's probably spending what little time he has left with his family. Yeah, you're dead in like 2 days, buddy. That being said, the fact that I'm here enjoying some food and booze despite it all proves how messed up I am, too. Once we've satisfied our stomachs, Odette hits me with a threatening gaze. Just to be clear, don't you dare try and contact him in secret, you hear me? If you do, then, let's just say I know how to make people wish they were dead. She says this like it's a perfectly acceptable topic to bring up during a meal. Yeah. I'll keep this alliance going till it's just the two of us left. Oh, so now you're going to act like the head honcho, huh? Come on, you know what I mean. Just don't hit me, alright? I'm going to go talk to Ro if you do. Now that's a sense of humor I can appreciate. She lets out a raucous laugh, but I can tell it's phony. Well, that's the kind of person who walks a thin line at all times while making sure that everyone else thinks otherwise. Not that I'm wanting to talk when I do the same myself. She says she wants to avoid us both electing Roe, but another reason she's refusing to tell me his regret is because she knows there's a chance he has info on her. The fact that I've only realized such a simple truth now proves that I'm still in no position to get the advantage over her. Jumping ship to Roe's side would do more worse than good for me too. So basically, I'm best off remaining her ally. Gotta say, it feels great to smack around big guys like him. Should have given him another one for the hell of it. You were enjoying every minute of that, weren't you? Oh, you could tell? Honestly, it's hard to beat the rush you get when you know someone's life is in your hands. You'd have to be a real dumbass to earn the wrath of someone this insane. Having finished our business, all that's left to do is wait for the second round to start. And when it does, we're going to end the recording. You know what? Flipping back to Recon, that'll be perfectly fine. I think that'll do. That's exactly what I was waiting for. I was hoping that would happen because we were going a bit long. But, yeah, all right. See, I was chewing Rika out for not being more proactive about digging up this information while other people are doing that, and it looks like other people are doing that. So the next election is going to be real interesting. I wonder if we're going to meet everybody, because we had our little tutorial, I guess. But not everyone's been going to be sitting on their hands about this whole thing. We've met 3 more people. Let's see, how many are we doing? We got... Actually, yeah, I'm curious. Are they in the thing? Card book. Yep. So... Oh, because... Alright. Because he knows... Oh, is she 9? Wait a minute. These are weird numbers. 1, 12, 3. Isn't she 12? No, she's 2. Oh, that's weird. Oh, you're 12. Okay. I got that buggered up. For some reason, I thought that Naharu was 12. All right, she's 2. We know 3. 3 knows his own name, obviously. I'm sure we should all have our own name card, I bloody well hope. Knows 7's name, knows 7's cause of death, knows 9's name. And of course we got her. Name, cause of death, name. It seems like they know more than that, but it's not what they're letting on. We only know the cards that we know they know. We don't know the cards the game hasn't explicitly told us yet. Stroke, right. So, okay, so it is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is up there. You're 11? Oh, you are 11. For some reason I had it in my brain that she was 9. Okay. She's 11. Okay. So we got things straight. We don't know any of his cards. And you're dead. You died last stream. Ha ha ha. So... Alright, interesting. We are going to go ahead and leave it off there then, and next time it sounds like we'll be going into the second round of elections, and looks like this one's going to be a little spicier than last time. So let's see how rules play out. Let's see what kind of moves people make. Let's see if we can start figuring out the rules ourselves, because we need to survive this. I'm pretty sure we're the protagonist. Maybe someone else is the protagonist. I don't actually know yet. We did a little protag swap. Who else are we going to meet? I'm curious. I'm interested. This is going weirdly. We are boosting through. Like, I imagined a chapter would be like a week, in the same way that a chapter is like a Danganronpa, where you have one trial per, and there's a fair amount of time. We just blasted through a whole week in one recording session here. Weird. I wonder how long this game actually is. But, yeah. Next time is second round of elections. Looking forward to it. Make sure you come by. Let's see who walks away from this one alive. And who doesn't? So make sure you comment, subscribe, follow. I love to see people interacting with the videos. Let me know what you like, you don't like. Make sure you're following along on Twitch, too. I finally got my hardware set up for video capture off my old platforms. So we've already got some Super Nintendo and N64 running on the Twitch stream. That'll be fun to continue. We're going to do some other stuff, too. But if you want to know what's happening, you got to follow and subscribe and Check me out on Twitter and all that other good stuff. So take care. I'm going to shut up about that. Look forward to the next one. See you then. Have a great week.